take it to Mars, oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me, I swear. You would do anything that I want, so keep us awake till the dawn. Baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on me.
Hello. Welcome to another show. Sorry we're late. Me and Chrissy were talking about, eating food in New York. And our special guest that we're going to have this week on this upcoming week's episode. So stick around and find out who that's going to be when we get to the very end of our show tonight.
And Chrissy, our pets were chatting.
Oh, here's the cat.
And I was going to say our pets were communicating.
Our pets are on the stream tonight. He's about to jump, so let's see if he can jump without hitting any of my wires and anything like he did last time.
My Instagram, please. We do that at the end. Cool. Okay.
Chrissy, haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How you doing? How you been?
I aged.
Oh, you did. I know.
Happy birthday.
29 again.
29 for the 10th year in a row. And drank way too much for a 10th year in a row year old. And yeah, we gonna leave it at that. But it was good. It was a nice day Monday. Me and Todd on the same day.
Well,
it was a very popular birthday. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Rocking Rob's merch. So y'all know.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure everything out still and get everything ready. Okay, so guess the first question of the day has to be, you like how this show is like, I'm just like going with the flow for tonight. What are you drinking tonight?
I think that's on brand. It comes first. Yeah. I have a Crystal Light lemonade tonight. Dry February, guys.
I have Jimmy John's.
What's in it?
Dr. Pepper.
Okay, I assume.
But also, Stephanie says, hi!
Hello, Stephanie. Thanks for watching. Cute.
Our next question for everyone, we're going to bring it out real quick because I have to ask the ever so important, name the coffee flavor.
You have it.
I do have it.
You got a whole Dr. Pepper and a coffee.
Okay, here's the color. I don't know what the flavor is, so I'm glad Stephanie is here because she's going to be able to tell us.
I was like, how are we going to name that coffee flavor if you know what the damn flavor is?
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Uh-oh.
Ugh.
Okay, what are you not a fan of? Is it like, no, you like almonds. Is it like pecan?
No. Stephanie, if you're still here, what is the flavor of the day? It tastes like burnt caramel.
Oh, well, then maybe it's like caramel. Maybe it's like, I don't know, caramel s'more or something.
Watch Stephanie no longer be in the chat, and she was just here to say hi and water, and then left. And so now we're just like sitting here. Oh, here she is. English toffee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that kind of checks out. The kind of toffee
caramel taste. Guys, don't worry about the Birkin Brewing Company. It's locally owned and operated, women-owned and operated, brewed just for you. So, yes. Let's see what other people are drinking tonight. I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go.
Who's all here? Come on in, y'all.
Valerie is drinking Pepsi.
Nice. Oh my God, I'll be up all night, though.
Stephanie is drinking water.
Period, hydrate.
And that's it. We got hello from my dad and Sherry.
Oh, we made it home. Where from home? What's home?
I think they were out Amish, shopping for the Amish.
Oh, okay.
So, guys, tonight's episode, I said to most people who wanted to watch that it was semi-recorded, semi-live, mainly for the fact that we are doing a pre-recorded interview. So I guess since we have nothing really else to talk about, should we play that video?
I know, I'm old and sober. My life is boring. No, I'm kidding.
Once you're drunk, that's when it becomes fun to talk to you. Like, woo!
I'm just kidding. I'm fun either way. But yeah, we on a break.
Well,
we on a break from the sauce. Not as long of a break as last year. That was a long time.
But you were pregnant. That's a difference.
I know, but it was still a really long time.
Fair enough. Steph, are you okay if I don't drink this?
Steph's like, no, you drink it.
I'm not gonna drink it while we watch the show. But guys, tonight our interview is with a really good friend of mine. I met him last summer in Bismarck, North Dakota, when I went to go visit the Bismarck Larks. A family friend owns the collegiate baseball program, and I'm really excited. Stephanie replied back to my comment. I don't have to drink the coffee. Scott's drinking Pepsi.
Everybody drinking Pepsi tonight.
I know. Where's my Pepsi? Why am I not drinking one? I'm going to go get a Pepsi while this is airing. Guys, but I had a really good time interviewing him. He's done a lot with his life. He's very inspiring to me. And so without further ado, I'm just going to kick it off. But hi, Rob. I almost played the wrong video, so I got to get the right video. I almost played my interview with Spencer from Squid Game.
King. Oh my God. He's in his workout shorts. I'm trying to hide it.
What are they, booty shorts? Is that why?
Yeah.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
What did you say?
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
Oh.
They're your preferences, y'all.
He's
On
young.
YouTube.
Bye.
I'm young. I'm only 28.
Ladies and gentlemen, my husband.
But
You
guys,
may remember him from the movie review last year. Anyway.
without further ado, let me go ahead, kick this over to that interview. Chrissy was unfortunately not there, mainly for the fact that I told her I wanted to do this one solo. So that's why she's not there. But guys, I will say, stick to the end of the interview. Something is back for the first time in so long. I'm so excited. But like I said, without further ado, here is that interview.
Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. The time has finally come at the time of this recording, just over 24 hours away from kickoff of the 2023 NFL season.
Are you guys ready for some baseball? Really brought out that Monday energy right now. Friday night in Bismarck, we have fireworks after the game. Are you guys ready for some baseball? Ready. Tequila. I don't know how he knew it. I don't know how he knew it. He's too young. There's no way he knew it, all right? All right, Ryan, you feel good. You feel ready. Of course. You shouldn't. All right, Dan, let's hear it.
Fans, welcome into the North Dakota Beef Commission post-game interview with the winning pitcher tonight, Cade. Cheers, my friend. Let's take one bite. What's the biggest difference from your year in D1 in college compared to coming here playing summer ball?
You had 12 here tonight. What went into the preparation for today, or did you just wake up and said I was going to hit 12 home runs?
Super excited. He is not hosting this show, nor is he doing the interview. It's flip-flop tonight. I am super excited to be interviewing a really good friend of mine. Please welcome Joe Zollo.
I haven't watched that in a while. That was I haven't watched that since the summer. So after I made that. So yeah, that was fun to relive.
So you know Cody, the one that was dancing by himself?
Of course.
I am actually friends with Cody. He went to my school.
We love Cody. Yeah, no, he was a good kid up in Minot for our sister team last year. So yeah, he was a good kid.
When I first met him, I was like, "Oh, where were you this summer?" And he goes, "I was in Minot with the Hot Tots." And I said, "Oh, no way!" Like, I spent a weekend with the Larks, and so then I had a message. He's like, "Yeah." So I messaged John, and John's like, "Yeah, isn't he just a pain in the ass?" And I was like, "Yeah, he is."
No, he was a good kid. I know the fans up there really liked him a lot. They did a good job up there with their little promo team. So yeah, it was fun. Came down for the All-Star game. I obviously picked on him and his promo team members to do a little dancing in the dark. Shout out Savannah Bananas for the inspiration. So
I know we'll eventually get into it, but I did a little bit of a promo for the Larks when I was there. Have no video proof of it, but I did. But for those who don't know you, we're going to get into your life a little bit, talk to you, get to know you more. But tell everyone a little bit about yourself, who you are, and yeah.
My elevator pitch, lovely.
30 seconds. Let's go. You're on the clock.
Working on this since college. I'm originally was born in Boston, grew up in southern New Hampshire, went to school at Full Sail University down in Florida, just outside of Orlando, graduated with a bachelor's in sports marketing and media, did it in 20 months instead of 4 years, wanted to get in and out into the industry. So I graduated at 19, had my first job in sports at 18 as an intern with the Orlando Solar Bears in the ECHL, which full circle, I am proudly now full-time with an ECHL hockey team, the Indy Fuel. I am the manager of marketing and digital content for them. Previous to this, as you can see on James' sweatshirt, I was the director of entertainment and on-field host, as you can see from that video package, for the Bismarck Larks. I've had the privilege of hosting events across the country in multiple different states with some fantastic organizations. So yeah, that's the quick pitch.
Let's just, because I am impressed with this. So you are 25.
25. Yep.
25.
I'll be 26 in August. So we're still 25 for a long while.
25. You've been doing this for 7 years in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go down a little bit of a list here. You have worked or collaborated with the Orlando Solar Bears and the Manchester Monarchs of the ECHL, Bismarck Larks, Minot Tots, California Winter League, Mandan Rodeo Days, Forefront, Women of Fantasy Football, the 2018 World Series champion Boston Red Sox. We'll talk about that. You are hosted 2 Savannah Banana games in their first ever world tour. And you are the manager now, as you said, of the marketing and digital media for Indy Fuel and soon to be the Fisher's Freight Football, I believe.
Yep. We just announced that team on Friday.
And you are the host of a weekly podcast, no pun intended, presented by Club Fantasy Football. You have done a lot, and I have done a lot of research about you.
When you put it like that, I didn't realize how much I did. But yeah, when you put it like that, sure, yeah, that's
impressive resume.
Thank you. I didn't even know I've done that much. So I gotta add more to my LinkedIn. Damn.
Hey, that's just what. Hey, I went down a little bit of an Instagram hole for you, and it's right there on your page, so you know.
Good. As long as people can find it, that's good.
But let's start at the beginning. You're from New England, born in Boston, grew up in southern New Hampshire. I'm guessing to say a Patriots and a Boston Red Sox fan. I don't know if there's a hockey team there.
All Boston sports: Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, and Patriots.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry for the bad year for the Patriots.
Yeah, 6 championships. We're fine. We're chilling. Bad days are coming. I know.
I think it's kind of cool though that in your intro package you start off by saying that you were just 24 hours away from the kickoff of NFL, and my team was in the kickoff and lost.
Mm-hmm.
Go Chiefs, though.
Go Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom.
3-time. I was gonna say 2-time, 3-time Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go to hit the six champions.
Yes,
But,
you do.
So, do you have a favorite out of those teams? Or
Yeah, the Patriots.
as I can see the clear jerseys behind you, but
yeah, it'd be football. The Patriots. Ben Coates over my left side next to Deion Sanders there. So that's the one Patriots jersey, and then out of frame is a John Hanna jersey. He's one of the best left tackles in NFL history. First Hall of Famer for the Patriots. He played back in the 70s. So, yeah, big Patriots fan. Football's my number one.
why football?
My dad played in high
what got
school.
you into football? Because clearly you do a football podcast, but what got you into it?
Yeah, my dad played in high school. He set rushing records at his high school. He played running back. Just a 5'6", 155-pound guy, breaking high school football records. He played when he was younger. I started playing flag football at the age of 8. I mean, I've been watching Patriots football for ever before then. Pretty much from, since I can remember. I think my first Patriots game was a rain game when I was probably 6 years old against the Giants. It was a way back. It was a brutal game, I think, in one of their first ever Super Bowl campaigns. And I played flag football. I was played on a team. We were ranked nationally, top 10, top 15 in the country from ages 9 to 14, 15 years old. So I was always around it. I played flag football year round, for spring, winter, fall, summer. So, year round I was playing it. I've always been around it. Been a favorite sport. My mom was the captain of the varsity cheer team when my dad was playing high school football. They went to the same high school. So it's been a normal, common thing. Something my dad always played. He played baseball, and he didn't play too much basketball, but he played baseball as well. So those were normally the top two growing up.
Did you play any sports growing up yourself?
Flag football, baseball, basketball. I was on the volleyball team when I was in high school. I picked up. I played racquetball. I've played ultimate frisbee. I like to think of myself as athletic. I can pick up pretty much anything. I just don't know how to skate, and I'm not good at soccer. So
okay,
there you go. Those are the only two. But soccer never ran in the family. So.
I did. I think when I was younger, I know I played baseball and soccer. I'm 6'3". People told me I should have played basketball. I don't know a lick of basketball, so there was no way that I was gonna actually go into basketball.
That's all right. I know a lot of. I coached our girls volleyball team after I came back from college for the fall season in 2018. And I just coached the freshman team, but I obviously knew a lot of the girls that were on the varsity team because I just graduated 2 years prior. And yeah, just a lot of statues on the team that have never played basketball. So it is interesting.
So you went to Full Sail. First off, I'm going to be completely honest. I did not know Full Sail was an actual university. I thought it was just something that was made up until I met you. And you got your bachelor's in sports marketing and media, and you said 4 months?
In 20 months.
20 months. Oh, I was like, dang, 4 months. Good for you.
No, thank you. I don't want to do a bachelor's in 4 months. That sounds terrible.
But what made you decide to go into?
So the decision for Full Sail came from, we knew a family friend that went into the recording arts field. After 6 months, got an internship with a record label in Nashville. 6 months later, that internship turned to a full-time job. So I was like, oh, okay, I really am not a big, traditional college experience person. I toured colleges. The dorms were crappy. I didn't want to live in those. I'm like, I don't want to do 2 years of math and English again. Like I'm not there for that. So I go down, look at the school, and instantly fall in love. I toured for recording arts and sports marketing and media. And there was a girl on my tour who was on her 3rd studio album that she was recording. And my mom said, you aren't even recording your first one, so you should go into sports. And that's kind of where I went from there. Absolutely loved it. Enjoyed my time. I would go back 100 times over. I try and give back as much as I can. I go back every year for our Hall of Fame, and it was a great school. Absolutely love it. And they just keep innovating, doing everything possible. So yeah.
Well, Good for you. Sorry that your music career ended with your mom's decision.
Well, I couldn't sing. I was going to be, on the mixing board and
Okay.
behind in the studio, not actually in the studio. And yeah, she knew I love sports, been playing since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she just said that was I think that's the way for you to go. And I was like, you know what, you're probably right. And ironically, my first internship with the Solar Bears, I was the DJ for all 36 home games for their hockey team. So I was able to mix. I've been able to mix music and sports
Quite well.
a lot. So yeah,
Quite well.
it's combined. Yeah.
So before we move on, there is something that we do every episode. Don't know why I didn't do it before we introduced yourself. It's our tagline of our show. We're doing it with every guest. I got to ask, what are you drinking tonight? And you can be basic. You can say water. It's fine.
No. I wanted to do something a little spicier than water, so I went with Sprite. And that's honestly the only thing outside of water that I have in the apartment. I am going back home for 6 days, so didn't grocery shop this week. So I leave tomorrow morning, and so it's just Sprite, nice big bottle of Sprite. So
I have to ask, because you I guess you're a fan of Sprite. Have you had their winter version, their winter spiced cranberry?
I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Sprite fan in the world.
Okay.
I like Sprite, but no, I have not.
Yeah, good luck finding it. It's a limited time, limited offer, and oh man, to say that I've had a hard time finding it is a thing.
I'll have to check next time I'm at Kroger, see if I can find it.
It's good. It's a appeal. You have to like it. So graduated college. We're just gonna move right along here. I kind of want to know how you worked for the Boston Red Sox and how you got that and what that was like, especially going in on the World Series championship. Like,
yeah, if I knew, I would have grabbed my ring that I have if that was gonna come up. I mean, it's right over there, but I'd have to move. Yeah, so I started applying to jobs. I graduated June 2018, so I started applying to jobs the start of the new year, January. And part-time job with the Boston Red Sox came up, fan youth engagement team. I interviewed with them probably sometime in February, March while I was still in school. And I interviewed, they liked me, and they said, yeah, we'd love to bring you on. And come Easter of that year, so I think the second week of April or something, I flew back up, signed my paperwork, and I said I can start after I graduate. So I flew home, I believe the morning of June 7th, and began work at Fenway Park.
Oh wow!
That afternoon on June 7th.
Oh, so like literally, you're not even down for 24 hours, and you're like, "Let's go, let's do this."
No, I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I started then, and it was just fan youth engagement team. So a lot of on the ground, on the boots on the ground marketing with their kids club, some specialty stuff for their season ticket holders to watch BP on the Green Monster before the game. Doing stuff with like activations in right field with the VR dugout and the home run VR. So doing a lot of fun stuff with mostly, with kids, as the fan and youth engagement team, one might do. But then off-site events throughout the Boston area. So bringing the Fenway Park experience to different events throughout the community, including like corporate events and stuff like that as well happening at Fenway Park. So it was a lot of fun. I loved it. Obviously very privileged to work for a team that I grew up enjoying, and not to mention it being their best season ever, plus a World Series win, plus having a World Series ring is a nice little touch on it.
Did you know when they won that you would be getting one, or was that a complete shock to you?
I didn't know I'd be getting one. I was like, maybe at least have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Or potentially, like, I wasn't full time, so I figured I'd have to like purchase it at somehow, which that's what it ended up being. But yeah, I mean, that's
why pass up that opportunity? Like,
$1,200 for a World Series ring with your last name on it from your favorite team ever and their best year ever. Yeah,
that's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I always said if I ever get down bad, I'll just sell the ring, and then I put the ring on my finger, and I was like, yeah, I'll die with this thing. Yeah, I'll die with this thing. Please and thank you.
So I was supposed to. I'm going to go back to my high school reunion, but I wanted to work for the NFL when I started my master's. And I said, I'm not going back to my high school reunion until I have a ring on my finger that says, my life turned out better than your guys'. Sorry, but
hey, I get it.
Eventually,
I get it. Yeah, I'll wear my World Series ring to my high school reunion if I ever go. Sure, why not?
How many do you have on your hand? I have one.
Yeah, I got one.
You
baby.
have a wedding ring. I have both. No.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of cool that you did the fan and youth and fan and
youth engagement team. Yeah,
fan and youth engagement, because that would come in handy later down the road for you.
Yeah.
But so I'm assuming that a lot of these jobs that happened when you were working in Bismarck, but not the Savannah Bananas. Tell me about that, because they are taking the world by storm. I have yet to go to a Savannah Bananas game. A lot of my friends have. Haven't had the opportunity. Follow a lot of them on social media, but again, have not been. So how did that come about, and were you a fan before you actually started doing it with them?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've done, I mean, the inspiration from a content standpoint and everything they do to make their show better and make the experience for the fan better, and just, I mean, I honestly the best. I've been to 3 of their games, hosted 2 of them, so and the one that I didn't host, I was working behind the scenes, so you see it all from. I mean, I saw it from every angle outside of the fan angle, but I mean, being up in the stands, running around like a maniac, you can still see it from the fan angle. So, I mean, I don't know. It happened by chance, and I one day on sometime in early February of this past year, I get a LinkedIn message from their director of entertainment, which on my LinkedIn profile at the time said director of entertainment for the Bismarck Larks.
Yeah.
So his name's Zach Frangelo. He messaged me and said something along the lines of, "Hey Joe, would love to bounce some ideas off of each other. Always looking for inspiration from other people." And I was like, "Yeah, of course, would love to." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I got time later this week. I mean, I have time this morning as well. Ironically, like I have time in the morning." And he said, I sent that probably like 7 a.m. when I woke up, and then he responds. He's like, "Yeah, let's hop on a call at 9 a.m." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I was like, red flag number 1. That feels pretty antsy. And we start talking. I haven't said a lick of crap about what we actually do and what we do in Bismarck or anything like that for entertainment. He's just asking me a bunch of like personal questions. I'm like, this feels like a get to know you interview. What's happening here? And then he mentions that like they're looking for someone to potentially replace Jesse Cole as the full-time host, because Jesse wants to take a step back. He wants to focus more on big picture stuff. Obviously he has a family. I think he's got 4 kids. So he's got a lot to deal with on top of building the Savannah Bananas brand, which he's done an incredible job with.
Exactly.
So they were like, "Are you interested?" I said, "Yes, Zach, I am very much interested in the position." And again, up until that point, I never thought, full-time hosting could be a thing. Yeah. But through that, I go through a couple interview process with their HR department. I talk with Jesse Cole on a Zoom call, and then next thing I know, 2 months later, they are flying me down to Savannah for a week to be a PA for a Bananas game and host 2 of them. I'm like, how did we get here? And I don't really know, because I don't know how they knew I hosted. So,
or how they got your information. That's the.
I mean, I know like Zach and I have been connected on LinkedIn for a minute, but I was never active, like super active on LinkedIn to the point where he would see me. So I still wonder to this day, how that happened, and I'm very thankful. I hosted, to that point in time, I had hosted 40 baseball games
Yeah.
You never know who's watching. You never know who's going to be there. You never know how people are going to find you. And it was really cool. I mean, very, very privileged. Obviously did not end up getting the position for the time being. Hopefully something later down the road. Cause I never thought hosting could be a full-time thing. I was like, this is fun. Like, this is a great part of my job in Bismarck. That's my favorite part, entertaining, being around the fans, just acting like a moron and getting paid to do it. That sounds great. And then, I went down to Savannah, and first night was a little rough for me, a little bit of nerves and stuff like that. But the second night I go out, I was like, all right, we're here. Like, we're clicked. And, it's really cool just having people just walk up to you, be like, I had one lady said she was from Canada. She's like, "You are my favorite part of the entire game." I'm like, that's like,
thank you.
that's weird. Like, that's again, like that's weird. Like, I didn't go to school for this. Like, I picked this up. Like, I've been in dance class since I was 5 years old. I use that in my arsenal. I've just grown into this over the last 7-8 years of doing broadcasting, hosting, podcasts, and different stuff. But yeah, I'm very, very thankful that the Bananas gave me the opportunity and at least have that bridge still there, and hopefully that bridge can have a connection at some point. And I think my overalls would look really good in red and yellow for the new Savannah Firefighters team. So I'm just saying,
exactly.
we're manifesting that and working on that. So hopefully at some point. But yeah, I did not expect it. They found me. I have no idea how it happened, and I'm very happy it did, because I'm privileged to be one of the, I would venture to say, 2 to 3 people that hosted a Savannah Bananas game on their first ever world tour. So that's that's a cool thing to just, nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah.
Just a cool thing to have in the pocket and be like, yeah, that's
a fun fact.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
Are the guys, maybe we can cut this if we have to. I don't want to cut it, but are the guys as nice as they seem on their TikToks?
Like,
as fun as they seem?
They're about as real as they come.
Okay.
Just, I mean, from the top, I mean, Jesse's like a proud dad with everything. I was just there as a PA, just again, watching everything, taking everything, because I'd never been to a Bananas game, just helping on the back end, getting contestants for games. I'm standing there next to Jesse. He's like, how cool is that? You ever seen a walk-off in the second inning? And it's like, sometimes, if you didn't know him, or maybe you saw him on the surface, like, that comes off like maybe pompous, or like, oh, look at what I did. But he's just a proud dad of like Banana Ball's his kid. The bananas are his like one of his children. So he's just a proud dad, like, showing off his stuff. And yeah, I mean, every single one of the guys was great. I mean, you have, your introverted guys that are a little more quiet, like they're Cowboy Kyle. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's he's just a little quiet, but he said hi to me. I mean, Michael Deeb, Noah Bridges, Mike Vivacis. I mean, Sam, I always forget his last name, but I mean, one of the brothers of one of the party animals, Brett Helton, his brother Brad played for the Larks, and Brett came up and he's like, "Did you host a game for us?" So he remembered me, and like, I don't even think I actually talked with Brett down there. So he's they were all like true, just very nice people. I mean, the front office too, like the personalities, like, yeah, obviously they put on a little bit of a personality for a show, and like, I mean, same here. Like you put it on.
Larks did too. Like you put
it on a little bit, but like, you look at him as like, that's still the same person. Like Jackson Olsen with his 1.7 million TikTok followers, whatever it is. I mean,
I attribute to one of those.
he's a little more of like a quiet kid than you would even think. Like,
really,
I wasn't there to mingle or walk up, but like, said hi to Jackson a couple times and chatted up, and he was laughing. But yeah, it's like, he's just a kid. Like, they're all just kids having fun out there. So it was really cool. It's not a facade or anything like that. Like, really nice guys, genuine people. Like, they're literally just like, they're there to have fun and put on a show.
Well, I will say that one of my goals was to have someone from the Savannah Bananas, and you can ask multiple people, I have said it, on this show, and I guess I can check that off because technically you hosted too.
Yeah,
So
technically.
well, I have to tell you something after we're done here, but there was one of our friends was on one of the teams, and he wanted to come on, and then life just got too complicated for both of us, so we never did it. But I'll have to tell you about that later because it's a fun story, especially because he actually went to my university. So
Okay, nice.
yeah. So I don't know what else to go with this because there's so much. You have so much of a life, but I think before we get into to what you do at home, Bismarck, you did a lot in North Dakota.
I did.
If I'm quote me if I'm wrong, but did you take over for Matt Warnig when he left?
There
Or
was
was
there was one other person in between us, but
Okay.
yes, yeah. I mean, I had there was one girl in between us, and there was a guy who took over as the director of entertainment in 2022, but I was one of the hosts.
Okay.
So there was just 1 year blip of no Matt or myself, and that was in 2021.
So for those who don't know, even if you're I don't know why you don't know, you watched the intro package. You were the director of entertainment and the on-field host for the Bismarck Larks. How did that come to be, and how did you work your way up to the director of entertainment? Because that's how I knew you when I mispronounced your name for the first time when I first met you. But how did you work your way up to that position?
Yeah, so I lost my job from COVID in March of 2020, and about 10 months later, I get 9 months later, get a message on LinkedIn of all places from the VP of ticket sales, and he says, "Hey, I really like your portfolio. We might have a job for you." And go through the interview process, and they bring me on as the fan content and engagement coordinator, which is just a fancy way of saying you're in charge of creating content. John loves his convoluted titles. So
yes, he does. We love you, John.
so year one goes, and that's my role, creating content, like being behind the camera, capturing photos, video of the games, of the entertainment, of the players, anything like that, helping run social media. And then I would say about the halfway point in the season, pretty much, July 8th, our main host goes down she has strep for a game.
Oh no.
And yeah, she can't talk, she can't do anything. So our other co-host, Kayla, she's comfy on the microphone, but it wasn't mostly her groove. She's a great dancer, but she just wasn't as comfy on the microphone. And at that point, obviously, I had done broadcasting before and had hosted. So I'm like, hey, do you just want somebody opposite you so that it doesn't feel awkward? Just like somebody so you can bounce something off of. Like I'm like that's fine. Like I'm good with it. And that game comes, and ironically, it was the first game I ever hosted, and my parents just happened to be there that weekend, so it's worked out. But
you knew
yeah,
did you know they were coming, or did they surprise you?
No, they were coming. And
okay.
I with that morning we get a text message say, "Hey, I have strep. I can't go tonight." And I'm like, "Look, do you want me opposite you to make it a little just more normal for you?" And I hosted one game. There was sizable fan feedback from that one game. And Kayla had to leave for 3 games because her best friend was going to Africa for like 4 years. So she was going home to see her, which very fair. Yep. So I said, yeah, I'll co-host with our other host for that period of time for those 3 games. And it came down to the final 2 games at home. And with enough fan feedback for John to say, I'd like to see Joe host with each of you 1 game to see what the better chemistry pair would be for next season. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, okay. So this is happening. My role is changing. And then year 2, I'm the content marketing manager. So I handle all ticket marketing, stuff like that. And then I'm just the on-field host in 2022. And then our director of entertainment in 2022 moves into marketing for our events side. And I go into the director of entertainment and on-field host role for 2023. So community involvement, all that stuff, essentially being the face of the team for 2 seasons, a year and a half. So
I will say the just being there for the one game that I had went to, I had a blast. Your on-field energy is on like anything I've seen. And I mean, the pictures talk for themselves. All right. Like you're just like, I don't know if that's the only one I have. Those are the only 2 I have for that one. But like, you're just the dynamic that you play with the actual players, and then your on-field host, like you do, or your interns, you did a lot of different things that I've never really seen before, and I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. And yeah, it's it's fun. You just get to be yourself and just have a good time. I mean, again, I get to go out there, and I've been dancing since I was 5 years old, and music comes on, you're there to entertain. And
I just have photos.
you're there to entertain. That was from a KX News article that I know that they used on me.
All I typed in was Joe Zollo, Bismarck Larks, and I was like, I just gotta find photos that don't look like they're coming from Instagram.
Yep, that's KX. I mean, you can go to my Instagram and then.
I did. I pulled some.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I say it every time. I have my confidence in how good my skills are, and knowing that I can always improve every single time. I mean, I learned that immensely from just hosting the couple of Savannah Bananas games, and I took what they told me there into the 2023 season with the Larks. And after the first week, I was like, oh my God, I was terrible in Savannah. Like, I was awful. And I look back, I'm like, wow, I was bad in 2022. So you learn these things. And now you give yourself self-evaluations after each performance, and you're always learning. And I have my confidence in myself and how good I am, and I sometimes get a little on the borderline of cocky, but I always say every time, like, I can't do it without fans. I couldn't do what I do without the fans. So whatever I'm doing out there is always, how is it going to make their experience better? How is it going to give them a couple giggles? How is it going to make their day just a little bit better? Whether it be, those big moments or those little micro moments and things like that. Like, I stole from, I think it was Michael D and Dakota McFadden from the Bananas. They had people sign their jerseys, and kids were coming up to me asking for signatures.
Oh, that one doesn't have that one doesn't have it signed.
No, you got to go to a more recent one.
Hold on.
And the kids were asking me for signatures, and I'm like, well, I need your signature too. Like, can you sign my overalls? And I mean, by the end of the summer, I don't think I had many spots that children could sign on my overalls. So
let me say that I was very very upset when I asked to sign the overalls and you told me no because I wasn't a child.
Yeah, so it's reserved for the kids. But it's fun. It's really cool. Like, those kids. Again, like, I'm not a player, I'm not a celebrity or anything like that, but these kids that, like, you don't think you're a celebrity to. I mean, we had our mascot and myself walk into a kindergarten classroom, and the kids were chanting my name over the mascot's name. Like, how do you know my name? Like, how does it again, you don't know the reach that you have until so it was so cool to just see all of that happen. And
I found 2 photos of the signature, so I have to show those. But like, my computer's gonna look creepy because I have like 1,800 photos of you on my computer right now. But here we go.
it was just it was something that heck, when I took the job I would have never expected. When I started school I would have never expected. Growing up, this was never like a gotta do this
There you
kind of
go.
thing. That yeah, that picture has a good story behind it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can see there, and then if you see on her overalls too, those are signatures from when I wore those. So this was one of the last games of the season, and
The Motorboaters.
yeah, I believe her name is Betsy. She and her family always comes to the games,
Yeah, all
and
those pictures. That's
they
kind of cool.
you have friends that friends that turn into like good acquaintances and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And for the motorboaters game, I specialty ordered those ones, slapped a motorboater sticker on there, and after as the game's going on, we were auctioning off the jerseys, and the grandmother of Betsy asked how much for your overalls. I said, well, I can't take them off now, it's the 6th inning. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, paid a lot of money for them. Like it's like $120, like is what I have to say. And then end of the game comes, she hands me $130, and we do like a jersey swap. So that was her last game of the year. She wore the overalls that I wore for the Missouri River Motorboaters game, and I know her signature is on my overalls somewhere as well. So yeah, it's cool. Again, like those little like why me, like literally why
Little
me.
moments there's so many photos that of you interacting with the fans that I thought were like the
That's a good one.
best. Like
That's a good one. Yeah, I wish I look I don't look happy in this photo. Like I look I wish I looked happier, but I was reaching for my Sharpie that I have in
oh,
my
and you honestly are. I honestly thought you were taking a. It looks like you're taking a drink of soda.
no, I was reaching for the Sharpie that I had, because this little girl, I was just dancing up there. My shout out to my photographer and videographer for a few games, Anne Marie. She was fantastic. And she was getting a video of me dancing up there. And at the end of the video, you can see this little girl like reach up, and she's like, "Can I have your signature?" I was like, "Of course you can." So I get down, and she switches to photo mode, and I wish my face looked like a lot happier. But yeah, this little girl, like, that's one of my favorite photos. This little girl reaching up to me. I'm like, why? Like, I don't like, I'm not gonna be in the MLB. Like, what is this? So yeah, I mean, again, like, and nobody there knew I hosted the Savannah Bananas game. They didn't know that I did any of that. Like, they just knew me as the host of the Larks. Like, this girl who's probably 3-4 years old is just like, yeah. And I'm the only one to sign her baseball. Like, it's crazy to think that I've signed thousands of baseballs, like pieces of clothing, blankets, towels, like all these different things, baseball bats, jerseys. Yeah, like it's crazy to
Yes, I would have this on hand.
It's
and
great.
It's not being sold, but that's his signature. This is an authentic jersey for him.
It's crazy to think that like people have that and like
it, and like the fact that people wanted it.
Like, why me? I think about that, every now and then. It's like, why me? Like, what did I do to? Like, I literally, like, I said to one of my good friends now. I said to her, I'm like, do you want somebody opposite you so it's not awkward and you feel more comfortable? That's all and she said yes. That is how I got like, if I go on with like to do things with the bananas and stuff like that, I should always look back. It's like, I remember the exact day, because I'm like, why did that happen to me? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it's really cool.
I will say, when I first met you, I was very intimidated. I had just gone there after a horrible flight experience coming. I gotta tell you that too when we're done.
I remember you told me about it.
No, what came to aftermath after I got back to Kansas City. But we were at the carnival party, and you showed up, and I went, he is in charge of something, and I am terrified of him. And then I got to know you, called you Joey on accident.
That's okay. That's okay. It happened.
Hey, but you know what? It worked, because it went on to Art Day. We called you the wrong name on purpose.
I just accept abuse. It's fine. I just accept it. So, like I said, what all for the fans, all for the entertainment.
Yeah, and I said I had fun. I did the sausage, the meat relay.
The Cloverdale meat race.
Against Jordan. Jordan definitely cheated. It's fine. But I honestly, like I said, I enjoyed every single second of watching that game. From being a part of it to watching you do your work, which helped me and inspired me to start, doing what I do. So you kind of also inspired other people to change their profession around a little bit. So there's that.
Oh, good.
But I mean, okay, I have to ask, how did it feel to co-host? I don't know if you co-hosted, but co-host a game with Mr. 50 Dates in 50 States himself.
Mr. Matthew Wernig. Oh. Well, we had the season 7 theme idea, and I was pushing hard for it. It was my idea I'd thrown out was season 7, lucky number 7. Let's do a Vegas theme.
What's larks?
And ironically, the area code for North Dakota is 701. Ironically, for Vegas, it's 702. And we were just finding a lot of different similarities and things like that. And I was like, well, they do residencies in Las Vegas. So I came up with like the residency idea of past hosts, which was Caitlin and Matt, their brother, sister. And we knew Motorboaters Night was coming. And I said, hey, dude, like, I said, I was like, if you and I are there, it's going to be a good show. And he, fortunately came back and hosted a couple games, and it was cool. It was fun to play off him, make fun of him for his old job, call him Rusty and all these different things. Yeah, there he is. Mr. 50 Dates, 50 States, Mr. Matthew Wernig. I don't know where I know where you pulled that photo. I don't know where you're pulling the other ones though. Yeah, that's
Wait, which one? Which one do you mean? You don't know
that first one. I don't know where you pulled that one.
His page.
That's what I figured. Okay.
That's from him. Yes.
Oh, I'm famous. See, I'm on Mr. 50 Days 50 Days page. That's great. No, Matt's great. Our boy, our hardest working fan Gus back there, one of the host family kids. Yeah, he was great. This was, I believe, Don't Stop Believing or Living on a Prayer for crowd karaoke.
I will say I followed Matt before I even followed. I knew about the team. Because when John told me I was flipping through a magazine in John's office, and I stopped because Matt's face caught my eye, and I went, "Yeah, 50 Dates in 50 States," and he goes, "Yeah," and I said, "You know him?" I'm like, and so as soon as I saw that he came back, I was watching every single thing from like that whole motorboater weekend and everything. So I was like, "This is lit that he's back." And I really wish I could have came up for Motorboat Night.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's been a great dude. I mean, I got his phone number. I FaceTimed him out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, I'm on a conference call with some agency about my show." I'm like, "Yeah, you give me a call back when you can, hot shot." And he called me right back, and I had TikTok questions for him for my job. And yeah, he's what you see on the screen is exactly who he is. So it's really cool.
I've reached out to him a couple of times. He's left me on red both times, but it's fine.
No,
I wanted to bring him on to talk to him about 50 Dates in 50 States because I thought that would be pretty cool to have on the show. Might have to drop a couple of names and be like, "Oh, by the way, I know so and so. Would you come on?"
Yeah, no, he's a good kid. Matt's been great. Back in Montana with the fam, and I'm excited to see what 2024 holds for him because I've heard some pretty big things. So
that was I cherish every night that I was in Bismarck. It was honestly hands down one of the best experiences, the most grueling non-paid internship weekend I had, but the experience I learned from it. And learning from you and learning from Kyra and learning from Isaac and learning from everybody on that team. I took a little bit of everything home with me. And
good crew.
The car ride home was the car ride back to the hotel and McDonald's run was fun.
Yeah, Yeah.
Should have left your debit card on my McDonald's app. I could have been paying for McDonald's from you. But
Right.
you announced to the world that you're leaving Bismarck. That was a shock.
I announced to the world.
That was a shock because I didn't see it coming. But you left. You went, and you're now at Indy Fuel.
I am with the Indy Fuel. You are correct. Yeah. Where do we want to go here with the question?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can start with the departure from Bismarck. So,
because I've not heard this story. This is the first time I'm hearing this story.
Well, I knew it was going to be my last year. After going down to Savannah, and then I had the privilege of hosting a game with a guy who used to be a WWE ring announcer, Greg Hudson, formerly known as Greg Hamilton, when he was in the ring. And you have these big time guys in your ear saying, "You're really good." Like I have these things in my head. Like Greg told me that I was better than 99% of the hosts he worked with in the WWE host program. And I'm like, okay, you get to a point where, and I know Matt, I think got to that point too, where he's like, you're bigger than Bismarck. And it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible to say, but it's like,
I get where you're coming from.
It's a small town, like it's a big town in North Dakota, but it's a small town like anywhere else. So you want to move on to bigger and better things. And it was a great starting point. I'm very thankful for my time there. And I knew it was my last season. And I mean, I recorded something for the fans of my final game on a mic because there was a couple people there that knew I was leaving. And
I guess I can be honest to know that I did know you were coming or you were leaving, but I didn't know if it was actually going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I planned on I planned on going, and it ended not how I wanted it to. I pretty much had the job in Indy lined up. They offered me a job the week of August 18th or 19th or something like that. But the Friday prior, I had been let go by the team. So it didn't end how I wanted it to. Again, I knew I was leaving, but it didn't end how I wanted it to. Hopefully I get the chance to come back, and all I care about is the fans, and just to give them another show and be able to host. But I sometimes go back and look at the thank you post on Facebook just to see. And again, like, it's the fact that there's 256 likes and reactions from that post, and 92 comments of good luck, we'll miss you, you meant so much. It's just like, again, why me? So it was you knew that was coming, and it hurt a little more with the early departure. Again, I had a job lined up a week later, but the early departure. So yeah, now just very happy in Indianapolis. Absolutely love it down here. The team I have is fantastic. Was able to get the highest growing Instagram social media account in the entire league in the month of November. So we're moving and grooving here. We're doing the other side of my job that I really went to school for and wanted to do. And
I will say you look completely different out of overalls and a full dress.
Yeah, that is my daily attire now. That's my favorite suit. That's my burgundy Armani, which I got in college because it was half off, and I said this is going to pay off at some point later in life. And what are we now? 8 years later. That suit is still chilling with me, and I will be buried in it if it fits me, because it is one of my favorites. But Yeah, that's the game day attire is a little different. I get texts from my buddies all the time, and one of my buddies' girlfriends named my overalls the Joveralls, and that was the running joke for my final season in Bismarck. Is I would post a lot, obviously, and
Yeah,
they'd comment and say,
he's in his overalls.
he's in his Joveralls or something like that, and now that's just I don't know. That's just a thing, and it's cool. I got a text from my mom when we announced the Fisher's Freight, obviously train conductors and
Yeah.
overalls, stuff like that. She's like, "Are the Joe overalls going to make a return?" I'm like, "I don't think I'm hosting games anytime soon, but yeah, I mean, potentially, sure. I'll dress in the Joe overalls for a game." So I mean, I still got my ones hanging up in my closet. Those aren't going anywhere at the very least. At some point they will they'll get framed and hung up at some point, but hoping to come back to Bismarck this year.
I have to say, I loved just the overall caption of the way you labeled this as, what did you say? You just said no more overalls and game days, and it literally was just like it. Literally seeing literally the post before it is you in overalls. It's a completely different vibe,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it is.
You look happy. You love what you look. You love what you're doing there, and I love that. But now, you're no longer on. You're not on the ice. So what do you do?
No, so yeah, I mean, just real quick. Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot happier down here with this job. The only thing I miss is the hosting and being in front of the fans and stuff like that, and being able to make those connections. But yeah, no ill will or anything towards the Larks or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, we worked our asses off, and it was a lot to work almost triple digit hours every single week during the summer. And it's just a complete paradigm shift coming here and doing one person's job instead of 3 to 4 people's job. So it's yeah, very much happy here. But yeah, I'm the manager of marketing digital content here. Absolutely love what I'm doing. I basically run all the social channels. I'm heading up all that. I say I run the social channels. I do, but there's an awesome team. We have 2 fantastic interns that create awesome content for us, and then my right hand, I'm the token guy of the all girls fucking marketing team in sports, which is great. Leanne is fantastic. She does all the communication side of things. She's a great graphics person. I'm a great video person, so it's a really good marriage there. Our VP of marketing, my boss, is fantastic. She's really good. And just going through the interview process, I was interviewing with 2 different teams. One of them ended up not coming with a job offer because they kind of changed the job at the final hour. But there was something that was just I took a little bit of a pay cut, and coming here, bigger city, obviously more expensive. I was like, something just feels right. This is a good team. There's going to be something moving forward, and I'm very happy I did. Everything I've done, in charge of the marketing, in charge of digital content, I said by 25, I'd like to be in charge of marketing, and when I first started college, I'd like to be in charge of marketing for a professional sports team at 25. I'm pretty much there, so we're happy with where we're going, and now the new goal is become a full-time host somewhere and do that for a living.
And so, are you excited for Fisher's Freight football?
Extremely, yeah. This will be my first time to work full time in football. I did photograph for one of the IFL teams up in Bismarck, the Bismarck Bucks, in 2022. So being able to work full time in football is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for that. Brand new arena that is being built right now. That's going to be finished in November of next year. So we're really excited. It's going to be a brand new arena, brand new everything. So just very excited to be able to, work in my number one sport, even though it's not the NFL or even the collegiate level. It's still 8 home games of football, and you get to see a brand of football that's a lot of fun, hard hitting.
Who is Fisher's Freight football through? Is that through XFL?
The Indoor Football League. They're an XFL affiliate, so the IFL plays. It's like arena football, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not only you didn't fully give up your hosting duties. You are also the host of a weekly podcast, which I happened to get a small glimpse of when I was just going through your YouTube. But no pun intended on YouTube, presented by Club Fantasy Football. What got you into doing a podcast and doing? I love the name, but what got you into it?
Well, that was my name that I came up with.
It's
And-
funny and it's clever and it's considered a error when I wrote it down on board docs. So I love it.
In God, I don't even know when. I want to say, man, maybe January of 2017. So it was like 3-4 months into my degree program. And we had a Facebook page for our SMMBS, which is what it calls Sports Marketing and Media Bachelor's of Science. We had a Facebook page for all the students. And our instructors and stuff were in there. And there was a post from an alumni from the Film Masters program who just put in there and said, hey, I run a fantasy football website. I'm just looking for help. Obviously, I can't pay, but I'm just looking for help with graphics and Photoshop. I'm like, I don't know like a crap about Photoshop, but I'll go to the 2-hour Photoshop class that's about to be taught this week. And I mean, I knew my fantasy football, like my football knowledge in general my football IQ is very high. So I knew it was something that I, really enjoyed and really loved doing. So I learned a little bit of Photoshop throughout that time. And then I think in May of that year, I just, we were just like, podcasting is popping up, becoming more prevalent, doing these shows, stuff like that. We're like, well, what if we did an audio form instead of just Instagram and Twitter and things like that? And in May of 2017, I think, so we're going on 7 years now, 7.5 years. I was like, yeah, let's just start it. And from there, we started it. Now we're, live shows every week on YouTube. We've built out, pretty much a show almost every single day. I say we, Josh, the founder of the website, has done a great job. And yeah, we're pushing, I think, 700 subscribers on YouTube, which we started really pushing hard last year. So it's really cool to see that growth. We see people coming over from Twitch. We get, again, like that's another subsect of like these random people. We have no idea. They just found us on YouTube and Twitch and they watch us every single week because, we're their Pat McAfee show. We're their sports center of fantasy football. It's like, it's just crazy. So it's a lot of fun and keeps the skills sharp and keeps the improv and the wittiness and the quick thinking really, really good. So
I have to ask football question. I don't know if you talked about it in one of your episodes. You probably did. What was your hot take on the Raiders losing 3-0 and then winning 61-20 or 63-21? What was your hot take on that? Because I know people are saying that it was rigged and all this other stuff, but like
our show for that would be tomorrow because we go every Wednesday. So I think the Raiders showed up and played a bad brand of football 2 weeks ago. And last week they walked into a depleted Chargers team who is wildly overrated because of their head coach, just lost their franchise quarterback, was down the best receiver in the NFL, arguably, in Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler's hurt still. Their offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. Your secondary is absolute trash, and you have a terrible defensive play caller in a team that probably wants Brandon Staley gone, so they're probably not going to try that hard.
And they got their wish the next day.
And it wasn't rigged. That's just simply what happens when a team gives up on their head coach.
So that was something that, and I love how we're talking in present tense. This is going to air like in February, but this is what I said when I watched that. I literally said, someone or some people want their head coach gone.
The players gave up on him.
Yep.
They also knew their season was canned. Herbert got hurt.
Yeah.
Clearly Easton Stick is bad. So they gave up on him. Brandon Staley should have been fired a long time ago.
Well, there are people calling for him to get fired in the middle of the game. So like,
He should have been. He should have been one of the only coaches in NFL history to have his contract ripped up at halftime.
that is what should have been. That would have been that would have been.
Should have been ripped up 2 years ago.
I honestly think I don't know I don't know if the NFL what would have been all over social media had
It would have been hilarious.
had he not walked out of that.
Everybody has been calling for Brandon Staley's job for years. He's not a good head coach.
But no, I gotta talk football with you more because I like this. I can talk to people at my work, but after hearing them complain about their fantasy football league and multiple times a week, and we have our okay. So I'm gonna be completely honest. The tirade that Patrick Mahomes threw after the hissy fit, yes. People, okay. I'm a Chiefs fan. I will say that, but Tom Brady did the same thing.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Not that bad.
No, ours was worse. Ours was worse.
Tom Brady would look for calls to the refs 100%.
Yeah.
So does Aaron Rodgers. So does Patrick Mahomes. So does Josh Allen. So does Jalen Hurts. So does every single quarterback that thinks they are the shit in this league. And then after the game, Patrick Mahomes calling the greatness of Travis Kelce and the pedigree of the Chiefs is the reason they should have picked
more
up
about the
flag.
on-field hissy fit, but what he said afterwards should not have happened.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
gotta hold yourself to a higher regard.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just cut Kadarius Toney and call it a day.
Multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be very controversial for people who watch this. Not my quarterback. Not my favorite quarterback in the NFL. So we'll just leave it at that. But one last thing before we get into, we're bringing back you're the first person that we're doing this for. And we haven't done this since season 2. So that would be the spring of 2022.
Okay.
We're gonna do fiery questions here in a minute.
Sure.
But this fun fact that I found out about you from you alone, actually, you lived in 10% of the United States. Where all have you lived?
It sounds like a lot. It's only 5 states. Sounds like a lot.
Why does it sound like a lot more when you put it in that way? Okay, you lived in 10% of the United States, so let's.
New Hampshire, Florida, Texas, North Dakota, and now Indiana.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, I guess you could technically say 12% because I did live in Massachusetts for the first 2 years of my life, but that's not.
That counts.
Semantics. So yeah, 12% of the United States.
12%.
Yeah. There you go.
And out of those states, which has been your favorite?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire by far. That's the Northeast in New England cannot be beat in my opinion.
Okay. See, I've never been to I've never been to Boston. I want to go to Boston. I've been to New York multiple times, but yeah. All right. So I have 12, 13, 14 questions.
Cool.
Some of them are callbacks to things. A couple of them are callbacks to things you may have done in your time on the Bismarck Larks.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them are just fun questions, just because to put it out there. So let me find the right things. This is the segment we like to call Fiery Questions. So here we go.
Okay.
This is not rapid fire.
We'll make it rapid fire.
I mean, sure, go ahead. What are 3 things you can't live without?
Video games, sports, and that's a good one on the third one. Family.
Okay. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I am legally bounded by my job to say yes.
Is it a taco?
Off the record, yes. On the record, no.
Is soup a cereal?
No.
Is cereal a soup?
No.
Oh.
I didn't get that.
Oh, my Siri is thinking that I'm talking to
Ask
her.
Siri. Maybe she has a different answer.
Yeah, I know. Are you a sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Okay. What did you want to do with your life at the age of 12 years old?
Age of 12. Probably sports journalism at that point. I was looking at that side of things.
How do you spell R2D2?
R2D2.
Good job.
That's a callback from when I interviewed Julio Romero in 2022 on Star Wars Night. Yep.
Yep. How do you start your day?
I get out of bed.
Okay. What is your favorite fast food restaurant?
I would probably say that I can go to consistently, Raising Cane's.
Okay, I love
That
it.
I cannot get to consistently, Whataburger.
Okay. These are not on here, but now I'm curious. What is your Whataburger? What is your Raising Cane's meal?
Box combo, no slaw, double toast.
Extra cane sauce?
No, yes, but like I'm not there to spend the extra money.
That's true. We just got a Whataburger because of Patrick Mahomes in my town, so I'm thankful for that.
We love Whataburger.
I love Whataburger. This one is just because I want to hear you say it again. What is your McDonald's order?
Quarter pounder, plain with cheese, fries, and the best high C on planet Earth, orange high C.
I knew it was a quarter pounder with no cheese. I knew that was going to come.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest piece of advice you have received?
I thought you were going to ask me like what I would say, and I normally have that one. Like I have that locked and loaded because I've had that asked so many times. Best piece of advice I've ever received. Hear out every opportunity. I think is probably a good one. I don't know if I feel like somebody told that to me, but you hear it every opportunity. I mean, if I didn't hear out Bismarck, I wouldn't have obviously had the opportunity to not only have the job I currently have, but have the opportunity to host and then have the opportunity to go to the Bananas and like do all that stuff. So always hear out every opportunity. You don't have to say yes to everything, but always hear out every opportunity.
What is the biggest piece of advice you would give?
There we go.
It was on the list, but since you said you had it up there ready.
Yeah. This is also one that would, I read in Jesse Cole's book. Whatever's normal, do the opposite. So it's a really good strategy of thinking outside the box, like gain inspiration from things. Like obviously with Banana Ball, he gained inspiration from baseball, but what do people hate about baseball? Well, they hate how slow it is. Okay, we'll give it a 2-hour time frame. That's his thinking outside the box. That's his whatever's normal, do the opposite.
Yeah.
So I would say I'd say probably that, and
change up the rules of baseball, because that's what Savannah Banana's done.
Never turn down an opportunity because of location either. That kind of fits into the don't not look at an opportunity.
What movie, book, or TV show changed your life?
Can I say video game? I mean,
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Video game. Yeah, video game.
Overwatch. I mean, I was able to play that game enough to the point where an unhealthy amount to get me to the top 1% of ranks in the world in the game, and I've been able to. I did the first ever esports broadcast on Full Sail's campus, which was an Overwatch tournament for the Full Sail Armada inside Full Sail Live. I have hosted virtually, like during COVID, I hosted tournaments over in Europe of like some of these, top tier people. I had the opportunity to cast with somebody who just casted in the Overwatch League this past year. So I would say that game probably, helped me gain a lot in terms of what I did for my career in terms of hosting and broadcasting. I'm not a big, I watched a lot of TV shows and, decent amount of movies and rarely any books, but I wouldn't say any of them changed my life in any way, shape, or form. I'm just there to mostly enjoy brain dead comedy shows. So there's not really anything that's going to change my life there. But yeah, I would say Overwatch in terms of what it's done for me professionally.
I got asked this question and yesterday, and I still don't have an answer because I don't know. If you could have one actor portray you in a film about your life, who would it be? And
one
why?
Actor portray me.
Can't say yourself.
obviously. So, I mean, the first guy that comes to my head is just like Mark Wahlberg because he's a Boston guy.
Yeah.
That's the first guy that comes into my head. But I don't know. I go to a Hugh Jackman for the Greatest Showman poll. I go to a Zac Efron because I'm a big High School Musical and fan and Neighborhood and all that stuff. So
Coincidentally, with Hugh Jackman and The Greatest Showman.
yeah, obviously, I mean, obviously, yeah, with that too. But yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, let's go, Hugh.
Hugh? All right.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
And the final question on rapid fire is: Would your 12-year-old self? What would your 12-year-old self think of you? Wow, that's not the question. Would your 12-year-old self think you were cool today?
I fucking hope so. I mean, there's a
And
lot of there's a lot of current 12-year-olds that think I'm kind of cool. So I hope that myself when I was 12, would think that I'd be pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think everything I've done to at 24 years old, half of my life ago I was 12 years old, and now double that, and I was able to host the Savannah Bananas game. So, and back then the Bananas didn't even exist. So
I have one more question. If you could write a letter to yourself when you were younger, what would you tell yourself? You can add in the quotes, but you can like the pieces of advice. But what would you say? I know we're getting deep here.
How young?
You're 25, so let's say 10 years ago, younger.
Okay.
Let's do 10. So when you're 15.
Okay.
What would you say to yourself?
Sure. Yeah. We'll go sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of doing the stuff that I've been doing. I mean, at 15, I wanted to go into sports and, figure out the sports journalism side of things. So, I don't know. I would say keep doing the things that you enjoy doing. Don't let anybody tell you any different. I think if I spent more time in the studio dancing and didn't let anything kind of affect me throughout middle school and, want to stop doing it because of getting judged and things like that for, being a guy who can dance. I think, maybe talking about that and be like, hey, don't stop doing the things you enjoy doing. And I think at that point too, I didn't really start being comfortable in front of people until my senior year of high school when I started presenting in my, marketing classes and business classes and stuff like that. So, try your hand at hosting and things like that and doing these different things because turns out you might be pretty decent at it. So
that was our fiery questions with Joe Zollo. No, when I met you, I knew that I wanted to have you on just because of everything you've done, and I've learned a lot more that you've done a lot more than I was led to believe when we first met. But I thought that I wanted to have you on, and I mean, you're a really good person, both inside and out. So, yeah. Thank you for taking the time to actually come on and do this, and right before the holidays. But if you want to follow Joe, you can follow him on Instagram at Joe Zollo. Don't have his Twitter, but I'm assuming it's probably the same.
It's all the same. Yeah, my handle is already plugged into StreamYard because that's where we stream for our fantasy football show. So yeah,
if you want to check out the fantasy football show, it's no pun intended on YouTube, but you can get it through at Club Fantasy FFL as well. And if you're ever up at an Indy Fuel game, you might just end up running into him. So
you might see the best dressed man in the arena that day.
But you stick around because I'm just going to hit the end button. But yeah. You would think I would learn how to. Oh, I guess I've just muted you. You would think I would learn how to, operate the system, but
it was quick.
He is a good. I enjoyed him. I enjoy talking to him every time I can. He's a great friend of mine, and he's a king. He came after Jalen Hurts, and that was funny.
He really did. That was funny. I mean, a lot of stuff he was saying at the end about fans being mad at like NFL coaches. That's the whole entire Philly fan base right now. So relatable content. And I now remember that Rob did show me what this banana baseball game is. And now I need to go. Do they come to Philly?
I don't know, but guys, thank you guys for like sticking with us. I'm sorry that interview was so long. I didn't realize that it was an hour and 15 minutes, but I guess time just flies when you're having fun talking to your really good friend. Let's see. I don't think they're coming to Philly.
I looked at like their calendar and I didn't see. The closest location I saw was like Buffalo, and that's still really far.
Yeah. So
but yeah, very, very accomplished for a 25-year-old young man.
Exactly.
Very, very
I love when he said, first thing you do in the morning, first thing you do in the morning.
Get out of my bed.
Fair enough.
And the one question you asked about who would you want to portray you in a movie? Now I'm like going down a rabbit hole of looking up brunette actresses in their late 30s, and I'm like trying to figure out
who's your favorite actress. Just have them portray you. It doesn't have to be someone who is well known. It could just be someone that you love and that you like. And that's the thing. I don't even know who I want, and I asked the damn question to him. So
I have to think about that. Beyonce, no.
Beyonce. Anyway,
Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, they are coming to Philadelphia.
Period. When?
September 30th, 2024. You can join the wait list.
Join the wait list. I might. I actually might. Yep. Get me in Joe Zollo.
Guys, thank you guys so much for that. I am definitely gonna be putting those fiery questions back onto Instagram because it's so good to have him do that.
Especially the one about hot dogs and soups.
Dude, yes. Legally, I am about ready to say yes. Guys, next week, I know the show just keeps chugging along. Our next show is Thursday, February 8th. I believe that's next Thursday. Brett Miller, he came on in the fall of 2022 to be interviewed.
Was it that long ago?
Yes.
Wow. It doesn't feel that long ago.
He will be back. We're not doing fiery questions. Instead, we are going to be doing a 1v1, mainly himself. Maybe more. Broadway Jeopardy. So people, Chrissy, you need to start researching Broadway.
Oh my God, I'm not going to know anything.
He's going to win the show. But guys, if you guys want to follow our guest, when you guys want to follow Joe, his Instagram is @Joe Zollo, and so is his Twitter. You guys can follow him on, no pun intended, on his podcast. If you want to follow Chrissy,
@ZerosMac_, or follow your girl @Kalua_Pup410.
If you guys want to follow me, it's @JHanson on podcast, and our Instagram is CJ on Edited Podcast. Let's see. Is there anything else I have to cover? No, there is not.
Former guest, former podcast guest. Maybe we can get a picture up. Robbie Jester just had a baby girl.
Yes, I saw that. I do not have images.
Little baby girl. The name is escaping me now, but congrats, Robbie.
Until next week, guys, I'm going to use a quote from Jesse Cole from the Bismarck, from the Savannah Bananas, and the advice that Joe gave us as our closing statement tonight. Until next week, whatever is normal, do the opposite. Good night.
Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling.